Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sherman D. Manning coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. Unfortunately, this is going to have to be a brief one. This will be quick, but I wanted to get with everybody. I've gotten a lot of emails today. You can email me at shermandmanning@gmail.com. shermandmanning@gmail.com. Send me an email. I got a lot of emails today, people saying that they're glad that I'm back and they're looking forward to hear where I was gone for 2 months and what was going on. We're going to get to that before the week is out. So that must mean tomorrow because the day is Thursday. So I don't have time to get into it right now. I've been extremely busy. I just met with some television producers today and I'm doing some volunteer work. And getting ready to do a lot of speaking out on the American judicial system and wrongful convictions, etc. All the stuff that I think Reuben Hurricane Carter would be doing, and all the stuff I think he would want me to be doing. And so I've just been very, very busy. So I've not been able to do a long, extended podcast like I want to do. But eventually we're going to move to at least 30 minutes per day, hopefully an hour per day. But I am Sherman D. Manning, and I want to tell you that Donald Trump, I made a mistake. I was committed to never calling his last name in public. I don't think he deserves to have his last name called, so you'll excuse that one and scratch that one off. But Donald is a pedophile, first and foremost. Read my book, America's Richest Pedophiles, and you'll see Donald there. I'm not joking. That's not an embellishment. It is true. And if it's not true, why hasn't he sued me? And he's not qualified to be president. He's not qualified to be president. Get my book, The Truth About O.J. Simpson, Race, Class, Money, and Justice. Get my book, Creating Monsters. Get my book, American Dream, A Search for Justice. Look on Amazon.com. Look at your local bookstores. You will see all of them. I am telling you, we have to make sure that under no circumstances does this pervert, does this imbecile, does this idiot, does this bastard get anywhere near the codes to the nuclear arsenal. This is a serious matter. This is a serious matter. I take this very, very seriously. And I know everybody likes to come along and say this is the most important election of our lifetime. And normally that's just political speak. That's just pundits trying to drum up an election and people trying to drum up support for this or support for that, and trying to get you to watch their show or listen to their podcast or whatever the case might be. You know, supposedly when President Obama ran, it was the most important election of my lifetime. And I'm still going to say it probably was. But to be quite frank with you, when you think about the potential of someone like Donald to come along with his fascism and racism and his xenophobia, I guess being a xenophobiac, if you will, the potential damage that he could do. This is an extremely important election. I'm sorry that Hillary is his opponent. And I know I'm not supposed to say that because I'm a Democrat. And I'm supposed to line up like all the other Democrats and pretend that I love her. I don't love Hillary. I like her. I think she's a good politician. I have some problems with her integrity. I'm not so sure about it. I question it from time to time. I like her. I do not love her. But I think that standing next to Donald, so far as integrity is concerned, you know, her mouth is a prayer book, as the old folk would say, because he is a pathological liar. I don't think Hillary is a pathological liar at all. I think she's a lawyer. And I hate to say it, but, you know, the old saying used to be, how do you know a lawyer is lying? Easy answer, when his lips are moving. And so I think it's obvious that she tells some lies. But Donald is a pedophile. One moment. Xavier. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Cómo está, amigo? That's live radio. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Live podcast. I had to speak to someone. You know how people are. If you don't speak to them, they'll say you're too big for them. You're driving a Jaguar and you pass by me and suddenly you're too good to speak. I have to make sure they know that I'm not too good to speak. I am a man of the people, man on the mission. And that guy that I just spoke to is a guy who's been very friendly and very cordial and kind to me since I have come out of jail on a wrongful conviction. And it's hard to find people who will be decent to you and not look at you funny and act like you're trying to steal their eggs and potatoes, etc. He's one of those who has been that way to me. So I wanted to speak to him because he clearly saw me. But again, back to Donald. He has the potential to tear this country up. Make no mistake about it. The president of the United States of America is the most powerful man on the planet. President Obama is a lame duck, but still, at this moment, he is the most powerful man on the planet. He has a nuclear arsenal at his disposal. He could tear the world upside down. He could end the world tomorrow as we know it. He could start a nuclear warfare. He could do things with Putin to make, I don't even want to talk about what a president could do. And this is not joke. This is not jokey. This is real. This is real. And I know Donald, makes it seem like, we will carpet bomb them. And actually, to be fair, that was Ted Cruz who said that. We could carpet bomb them this, carpet bomb them that. And I don't want to blame but Donald said very similar stuff. This is not about tough talk and bravado. He has the attitude and the mentality of a high school jock at times. And when you start talking about having the codes to the nukes, we don't have time to play those kind of games. We can't afford to risk letting this guy get anywhere near the codes to the nuclear arsenal. So I'm going to encourage you to get out and vote. If you don't vote, you don't count. Vote as you please, but please vote. I'm going to encourage you to get out and vote. This is extremely important. This is an important election. Everybody must vote. How old are you? How old are you? Are you going to vote? He's going to vote. He's going to vote. Everybody's got to vote. This is very, very important. This election is it. This is the most important election in a mighty long time. And everybody needs to get out and do their part and vote. It is extremely important. If we let Donald get anywhere near the codes to the nukes, we could see the end, of the world as we know it. We can't let this racist get anywhere near the White House. It can't happen. And the only way we prevent it from happening is if we make sure that he does not win the election. So everybody's got to vote. And to be quite frank with you, black folk have no business even thinking about voting for Donald. And I know that most of the racist comments he has made has been pertaining to our Latino brothers and sisters. But A, they are our brothers and sisters. B, if you hate one group of minorities, you may as well hate all groups of minorities. C, how dare we sit back and let them be singled out and discriminated against and not remember what happened to us, what it felt like, and what all we have had to do to try to level the playing field. So we cannot let this happen. We cannot let this happen. We must stand up for Latinos. We must stand up for them the same way the Jews stood up with us. This is America. This is the United States of America. We don't allow people to run around here and say things like, Mexicans are criminals and rapists and things of that nature. We don't allow that. We do have free speech and artistic expression, but that is hate speech. And now, when you want to be the commander-in-chief, there's a higher level. There's a higher standard for you. This man is not a book writer. I could get away with making those kind of statements, but I'm not the commander-in-chief. I don't control an army. I could get away with making those kind of inflammatory comments because I don't command an army. But when you want to run the world, you don't have the right to make those kind of inflammatory comments. You just can't do it. And we can't allow it. We cannot allow it. And I know that most of his inflammatory comments have been against Latinos in this country. But after what black folks went through, there's no way we should allow Donald to win the election. He is a racist. He is a fascist. He is a devil. We cannot let him in the office. We cannot let it happen. I'm mad as hell. I'm stirred up. You all have been wanting me back on the radio and wanting me back on the podcast. Well, here I am. I'm back. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. I'm proud to be an American. America's our land. America's our country. America has been blessed, and God bless America. This is our land. And we must defend it and defend the kind of country that we want to be. And I'm very, very upset that more African American leaders have not come out against this Klansman, because that's what he is. Anybody who's associating and affiliating with David Duke and then has the audacity to think that we don't know that he knows who that is and to try to justify it by pretending, oh, I don't know who that is. Well, you know what? If you're dumb enough not to know who David Duke is and you're a politician, then you don't need to be president. Okay? So we know he was lying. That's number one. And his lie means that he does not deserve to be president. But even if for some reason he was telling the truth, which he was not, then if he's that dumb and does not know who David Duke is, then he doesn't deserve to be president. It's too crowded in here. I've got to get out of here. So we can't let that happen. He is a racist. He is a racist, and he cannot win. We cannot allow that to happen. We cannot allow that to happen. Anybody voting for Donald Trump? Are you voting for Donald Trump? No English? Donald Trump? No? Hey, is he a racist? He's a racist. He hates Mexicans. He hates blacks. Okay, this young man says no.
I'm Central American.
Central American? Can you speak Spanish?
Hell yeah.
Ask them in Spanish, are they going to vote for Donald Trump?
Van a votar por Donald Trump, el racista. Que si van a votar por Donald Trump.
No?
No.
Okay, tell him I say he's a racist.
Es racista.
Okay. Hasta la vista. Yes. Thank you here. Thank you. I'm doing a live podcast. Talking about Donald Trump. I can't stand him. I can't stand him. And I say, I'm not Latino, but I have Latino friends. And if I allow that or stand by and act like it's okay.
No, plain and simple, it doesn't matter if he's racist, he's out.
Yes. Period.
That's it.
There you go, right there.
He could be racist against his own people.
Anybody. Thank you.
Yes.
Now, some common sense, man. Why don't you be a politician?
Maybe.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's your first name? ¿Cómo se llama?
Edgar.
Edgar.
Yeah.
Okay, me llama Chalito.
Let me mature a little bit and I'll put on a tie.
There you go. All right, you have a good night here. Okay, so yes, there you have it. Central American and two Latina ladies who spoke not a word of English, and they say he's a racist. This is a live podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is how we do it. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to continue to do this on a daily basis, more and more. I'll do the best I can. Right now I'm running. I just ran into one of my favorite spots where there are a lot of Latinos, and I wanted to get some of their opinions and takes on the Donald. The Donald. We won't call his last name. He's a devil. Do not allow him anywhere near. But that young man had the key word. He said it better than I could say it. He said it better than I could say it. He said if he's a racist, he's out, period. Whoever he's a racist against. He said even if he's a racist against white people, can't let him in. Can't let him in. Question for you. I'm doing a live pod. Sir. Excuse me. Comprende English? No English? Okay. All right. So, no English over there. And anyway, we're doing this podcast, and we will continue to do this podcast, and we will continue to talk about that chump. I almost said his last name again. Am I in the right car? I got to start watching out. Yeah, I am in the right car. That chump. I almost said his last name, but I won't say it. You know who I'm talking about. Donald. Donald the devil. Don't let him win. Don't let him in. Listen, send me an email. ShermanDManning@gmail.com. ShermanDManning@gmail.com. Send me an email. Send me an email and let me know that you heard the podcast and that you enjoyed and that you want more of it. The more emails I get, the more I will do the show. I will promise you that. That is why I'm here tonight. I am busy. I just left a meeting. I'm in between meetings. I need to eat. I just went into the store there to do this podcast, and this is what I do. There's no way I would have done this if I didn't get 26 emails a day from people saying, hey, man, we want more. We want more. So when, I'm human. I'm human. I'm not arrogant. I'm certainly not conceited. I humbly say that. But everybody wants to be wanted. I know, thank God I'm not a politician because, the definition of a gaffe as a politician is when you mistakenly tell the truth. I'm not supposed to make that kind of statement. But when you're not a politician, you can say everybody wants to be wanted. Everybody likes to be liked. And so, when I get emails, hey, we like